Om Janani. To Narendra and others who are lying down in his own room in the afternoon food. In between, he is explaining through his own experiences. Master, after I had experienced Samadhi, my mind craved intensely to hear only about God. After I had experienced Samadhi, Samadhi is a superconscious state. When we sleep, we withdraw our consciousness. I am conscious now. This consciousness is withdrawn when I sleep. It shrinks down. Last it reaches a point. From waking, I enter into dream state, from there to deep sleep. Jagrat, Swapna, Shushupti. I am withdrawing. My consciousness is shrinking down to the last point. I have three bodies: gross body, subtle body, and causal body. Gross body is this physical body from which I withdraw and it enters into sleep. Then I have subtle body, Sukshma Sharira. Subtle body consists of mind and senses mainly. Mind and senses form the subtle body, and then I have the causal body where all my tendencies, my knowledge, everything goes to seed form, like songs in the pen drive. All my knowledge, identity, everything goes to seed form and remains. Where it remains is the causal body. Gross body, subtle body, causal body. All belongs to Prakriti, nature. It belongs to nature. My consciousness, my Chaitanya, individual Chaitanya, Vyashti Chaitanya, the individual consciousness withdraws, goes to the last point and expands in the universal consciousness. We become one with the universal consciousness. Universal consciousness is personal God, the Lord of the universe. Again, I have my joys and sorrows to experience of my karmic load. Then I have my tendencies to work out. I have great ambitions and desires to fulfill. All this will start calling me back. Again I shrink to a point and project out and come touching one by one. It awakens and finally I come to waking state. I get up in the morning, attend to my duties, small mind, small awareness. I am not concerned about the other people, other things. I earn, I eat, I sleep again. This is my consciousness. Suppose the consciousness expands. I am concerned about all people around. I am concerned about my society. I am concerned about my nation. I am concerned about humanity. Then my consciousness is expanding. I am concerned about the nature. I want to know the secrets of nature. Then how vast my mind, my consciousness is becoming. I am becoming conscious of whole universe as if beyond. When the consciousness goes beyond the limits of nature, I enter into Samadhi. This physical body and all layers of my existence become silent, and I withdraw and enter into, this is the Samadhi sthiti. I am entering into a transcendental realm. A transcendental realm I am going to enter either objectively, the objective ultimate, or subjective ultimate. subjective ultimate, I turn inward, sit for meditation and start diving within. I dive and go within, within, within. Just like I enter into sleep, I become unaware of the world, I have become unaware of the body. In dhyana also I become one by one layers I cross. In the same way I enter into sleep, but consciously. In sleep I go unconsciously. Nature covers my eyes, takes me inside and brings me back. Can you go to the same state of deep sleep when you are waking? With full awareness can you enter into, that is meditation. So when you enter deeper, 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 you find you are shrinking, shrinking, shrinking. There is a 10th door. Just like we have in our body 9 doors. The 10th door is within. We go to the 10th door and one day the 10th door opens and you enter to see the infinity there. The Dashamadvara, the 10th door, is what through which you enter into infinity. It looks as if you are going inside, shrinking down like in dream, then end of the sleep, the second stage of the deep sleep, you enter into. Similarly, you enter into the infinity. After the Annamaya, physical body, Annamaya, Pranamaya, the energy level, Manomaya, when you cross the Manomaya, you enter into Vijnanamaya Kosha, it is spiritual awakening. We call it, he is spiritually awakened. When he comes down, he will be like sitting in a car, he will be totally separate from the body. He becomes independent from the body. He becomes a witness of the dream state also, waking and dream. So this he experiences there when in the Vijnanamaya Kosha, when he has crossed the limitations of mind and gone beyond. Manomaya Kosha has crossed and entered into Vijnanamaya. He enters into Chidakasha, space of consciousness. In heart there is the infinity is expanding, the absolute is expanding from within inside me. Like the ocean entering into land, and we call it port or harbor, where you can come and stay. It is ocean inside the land is called harbor or port. There inside us, similarly the ocean of infinite absolute is projecting within me. That is called Chidakasha, space of consciousness. This is space of matter, Mahakasha. There is Chitta Akasha, space of mind, space of matter, space of mind. Space of mind is called Chitta Akasha. This is called Mahakasha. This is called Chidakasha. Chitta Akasha is space of mind. Chidakasha is space of consciousness. We enter in Vijnanamaya Kosha. When still in Vijnanamaya Kosha, you start entering into deeper layers. First, when you enter into Vijnanamaya Kosha, you will see the light of consciousness, first time in your life. Till then, what you think of consciousness, Chaitanya, is only means not an inexperienced reality. Like a blind man speaking about light. He has never seen light, he is speaking of light. Like that we are thinking or speaking of God and consciousness. First time you will get the light of consciousness, Chaitanya, what it means in Vijnanamaya Kosha. There you see that light is become brighter, brighter, and you enter deeper and you see you enter into space of consciousness which is called Chidakasha. In Chidakasha, the Chaitanya which is pervading the space condenses into your Ishta Devata. The ideal or the deity whom you are worshipping as God. with form. It has the consciousness is like water. Water has dimensions but no form of its own. It takes the form of the container. If the container is round, water becomes round. Container is like a child, it will be water you put, it becomes like a child. It takes the shape of the container. Consciousness takes the space of the mind of the devotee. If he thinks that that whom he is worshipping, the ideal, the Ishtadevata, whatever he is worshipping, whether it is Rama or Krishna or Christ or any other Devata, deity, Buddha or anybody, first formation will be of the Devata in the space of consciousness. In Samadhi, you see the form whom you are worshipping as God. God appears in that form because he wants that, the devotee wants to see. Later on, he will go on showing various forms and the formless aspect also. Look at me, I have no form at all, but I assume forms for the sake of devotee because he likes to see me in that aspect. From form, holding on to form, we go to the formless. Holding on to name, we go beyond the limitations of name. So, because we are born from childhood, from birth, we have been accustomed only with name and form. We cannot think of being in the realm of time and space, this relative existence. You can never think of anything without form, without time, timeless, spaceless existence. You cannot think of. What is Nirguna Nirakara? An object without qualities and without form cannot be conceived by mind. Whatever, even if you think of love or patriotism, it is abstract, already it has appeared what it means in your mind. It has taken already form. Formless, you cannot, it has abstract form. You cannot explain it, you can conceive what it is. Mind has conceived, mind has understood what love means, then it has taken the form of love. So, what it cannot be conceived. Formless aspect cannot be conceived. So, in Samadhi, after you get the vision of your God, whom you are worshipping as the God Absolute, Absolute comes in that form. After seeing it, lives after lives, we are remaining away from the reality. We identify with the body and think this world to be real and eternal. This is our reality. And when we sleep, the whole thing disappears. Absolutely. You are going to a space, a dimension which is unrelated to waking state, unrelated to your own body. You are in dream, you are entirely separate. A new identity, a new dimension, unrelated to this physical body when you are asleep. Again, when you wake up, you identify with this body. And in Samadhi Sthiti, what separate experiences that. And when it sees its own, just like this body is born for my physical mother. When I know I am not this body, when I enter into Vijnanamaya Kosha, when spiritual awakening is there, I go from the Deha Bhava to Jiva Bhava, the transmigratory soul. I am now body. In Samadhi, I am the soul, independent of body, independent of mind, independent of all layers. So when I become, this body has my parents, father and mother are there for this body. Where from did this soul came from? As a soul, as a Jivatman, Who is my father? Who is my mother? I long to see. Just like a child weeps and struggles to see its mother. After spiritual awakening, the jiva finds it very difficult to live with her. He craves to see the mother again. This is what Sri Ramakrishna is telling, giving us through his own experience, that when he had after I had experienced samadhi, my mind craved intensely to hear only about God, because it wants to know everything about it. It wants to enter into it. It wants to be with it. Just like a child feels most comfortable, and a lover wants to know everything about whom he loves or she loves. The more he wants to hear from the people what the others have got to say. I love someone, he wants to hear about whom I love. They appreciate, they tell, oh, it's such a nice boy, this, that and all. I feel happy. I love my child, I want all people to praise him. So, like that, on one side, he feels himself comfortable, and he wants to know more and more about the one whom he has seen and experienced. Till he experiences God in any form or any way, he will be restless to see. After he sees, he wants to verify how the other people have expressed, how the other people have experienced. What does the scripture say? What do the people who have experienced express? How is my experience compared to the others' experience? He wants to know everything about the God now, more and more, because once he has seen it, so he wants, just like we go from place to place. When we went to US, we wanted to see many places, many things which are unknown to this, which is not there in India. Some places, so which we cannot see anywhere, we want to see there. So after I had experienced samadhi, my mind started craved intensely to hear about God. I would always search for places where they were reciting or explaining the sacred books such as Bhagavata, the Mahabharata and Adhyatma Ramayana, where Harikatha goes on, where regarding God they are discussing, contemplating, they are explaining about God with the scriptures. There you would go, sit and hear, see, after realization. When I was in Uttarakashi, in Himalayas, for my sadhana, after the forest life, I went to Himalayas. There I was attending every day in Kailas Ashram. There used to be one Bhagavad Gita class. I used to attend Bhagavad Gita class. And a few monks from our order, Ramakrishna Math, they were there. They used not to go. And one day they saw me coming from the class. And they were surprised. They said, where had you been? I said, for Bhagavad Gita class. Why? Why do you need Bhagavad Gita class at all? You know the whole Bhagavad Gita by heart. You have known the Bhagavad Gita through and through various bhashyas. Shankara Bhashya you read, Sridhar Bhashya you read. And what more need is there to go for a class now? I said, I like it. It reminds me of God in various ways. Then one of the Swami said, look, Shastra Vasana is also a Vasana. scriptural tendencies is also a tendency. This is not true. All thing unrelated to God becomes a vasana, which is going to harm you. This vasana will not harm you. This vasana is going to take you towards God. See, after samadhi, after seeing God, Sri Ramakrishna is running here, there to hear about the God, what the people will be explaining. They are pandits, they have not seen God, but explaining the scriptures. He has seen God. He is going and sitting there like a child listening to the person explaining about Shastra scriptures. He is explaining, one who has not seen God is explaining about God, and this person who has seen God and going and sitting and listening to that. What a thing, you see. So, this what happens is called, when you hear, it gives you impetus to, you are known, but it gives a different taste, different way in which he is explaining in a different way. Oh, there is another way of looking at it, another way of looking at it. So, it is called Uddipana. New awareness has dawn, new understanding dawns, new intimacy with God forms. A person explaining in a different way, the same food, each one cooks in a different way. Food is same, one cook gives one taste, another prepares another dish from the same items with entirely another taste. So, Sri Ramakrishna used to say, I want to taste all the varieties. Why should I be attached to one variety? So I want to taste God in every possible way. Whoever in human history, whoever has experienced God in any way, I want to experience. So he starts going through each religion. He starts going through each denomination of the Hinduism. Shaiva, Shakta, Vaishnava, Dvaita, Advaita, Vishishtadvaita, all aspects of God. Then Tantra, 64 Tantras, all this. Then Christianity, Islam, all this, Sikh community. So many things he practices. Ramayats also come there in between. So, Shaktas, varieties of Shaktas, Kundalini, this, that and all. So, he wanted to see and taste God in different ways. So, he is running about to know, to taste God in different ways. Just like when a person was given one sweet to eat, then he started moving from sweet stall to sweet stall, searching for new types of sweets. Explaining such sacred books such as Bhagavata, Mahabharata, Adhyatma Ramayana, the important epics of Hinduism. I used to go to Krishna Kishore to hear him read Adhyatma Ramayana. He used to go to him and listen to what he says about Adhyatma Ramayana. Krishna Kishore was a well versed in scriptures most of the scriptures, and like a pandit, and he loved to explain to others, share his ideas, share his understanding, share the scriptures with others. Like in student life, we do combined studies. We share our ideas and understanding. He will explain me and I will explain him. So here also, Krishna Kishore was of that nature. He wants to hear about God, he wants to speak about God. Because his knowledge is vast, others they start speaking about God, And when he opens mouth, all will start sitting and listening, because he has read vast things and knows, and he had tremendous faith, about which Sri Ramakrishna says now. What a tremendous faith Krishna Kishore had. We are losing this now. The modern science has put a great assault, and it has cut down the faith in everybody's heart because of the reasoning. The science is totally dependent on reasoning, and everything is governed by law in this nature, but it limits to time and space. What is beyond is beyond reason. Reasoning doesn't apply in the field of transcendental realm. Within the waking state, within the realm of time and space, it is reasoning can be applied, not beyond that. God pervades this, gives existence to this, and remains beyond also. He is not limited by this world. He is not limited by this universe. He is not limited by anything. The fundamental definition of God is that He is unlimited. If a single limitation is there, He cannot be God. There is no limitation. He is not limited by power. He is not limited by form. He is not limited by space. He is not limited by time. There is no limitation. He is not limited by power. He can do and undo anything. That's why Sri Ramakrishna was very particular. Do never say God is this alone and not that. Not that means there is something other than God which is going to limit Him. It is one existence which pervades everything. In God, this universe appears and disappears. It is pure existence. So, whatever is there in this universe is within the God and pervaded by God. So, you cannot limit God. You can limit everything in terms of time and space, its nature, its qualities, but God has no limitation, including qualities. There are various expressions of His, that's all, what we can perceive. So, He is unlimited. So, never say God is only Advaita, Vedanta and not other thing. Don't say this religion alone is true and that religion is false. No, every religion has value. Every religion is backed by the reality, truth. Somebody has seen truth and is expressing through a religion. So every religion, by the virtue of being a scripture of devotion, it can make the man reach the goal. Now, in Hinduism, Advaita stands strong in reasoning. All other faiths depend on faith. Faith is most important. With faith, the prayer begins with faith. Faith, he ends his journey to the eternal. He transcends only with faith. So if faith is not there, he cannot move. He becomes lame. He cannot see. He becomes blind. Now, the modern science, because of intensity of reasoning, is we are losing faith in the transcendental realm. So, I take up what you experience, waking dreaming and deep sleep. Who are you? Why do you totally forget your body in sleep? Who are you then? This is direct experience. There is the direct experience of going to the transcendental realm every day. This is the only proof that we can give to anybody who reasons, what are you experiencing? From there we can link to the individual and cosmic, the microcosm and macrocosm. They are built on the same principle. Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om Tat Sat Shri Ramakrishna Arpanamastu.